ex-skinhead, he changed after going to prison and befriending men that he used to think he hated. He's also the co-author of the book Autobiography of a Recovering Skinhead. Frank, we're so grateful to have you back on. I know we've talked to you a couple of times. I want to ask you first and foremost about this newest report, this breaking news about this Nevada man who has been charged. What is your reaction to this charge from the Justice Department? How many more men like him are out there?
Unfortunately, there's a lot of them, and the lone wolf thing is really come into play now after the Timothy McVeigh and the Oklahoma City bombing, to where that's the plan. But I mean, when is it going to end or when is it going to stop is something, you know, like this country needs a gun intervention. We need a hate intervention in a way, because, and everyone says after the shootings, oh, let's let everyone calm down, then we'll talk about it. No, you don't do an intervention on a drug addict when he gets sober. You do it when he's had a life-changing event in his life that you can now work with. And that's what we're working with right now. And people just want to, you know, let's put it away and then we'll talk about it 2 weeks from now when another event happens. And that's what we got to get sick and tired of. I don't care who's right politically. I just want it to stop.
You were one of those people. You know, you are an admitted former skinhead. When you talk about having an intervention, what does an effective intervention look like for people who hold these hateful beliefs?
That we see these people are going to have to know what the end result of what they believe is evil. It's evil on this planet to believe that I'm better than you because of the color of my skin.
But how do you deprogram somebody from thinking that?
You can't, for one, we can't fight them with other hate and condemn them consistently. We have to start talking to them and have real conversations with people and not just right away shun them, because that's what they feel like they've been their whole life. They feel like they've never been respected. They've been degraded their whole life, and now we're going to continue doing it. We have to start having conversations with people that we think have these feelings. And I'm not saying we have to validate their feelings, but you validate them as a human being, and maybe we might have some, because they have to learn empathy. That's what I had to learn. That's what almost all formers learn, is they learned empathy again.
And the bottom line is, you're saying white nationalists, white supremacists actually feel inferior and they're acting out of fear. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. It's all fear-based. Any type of group that has to go towards anger and violence first, it comes from a part of fear inside of them. And that's where, when the fear turns into anger, then anger turns into hatred and turns into violence. And I'm the exact result of that effect.
I want to show viewers some pretty startling numbers here. These numbers are from the Institute for Health Metrics. U.S. government statistics show that since 9/11, white supremacists and other far-right extremists have been responsible for almost 3 times as many attacks on U.S. soil as Islamic terrorists. And also, according to the Anti-Defamation League, statistics from 2009 through 2018, 73% of domestic extremist-related fatalities are from far-right groups. Because you used to be in those groups, Frank, I know that you still have connections to them. I know you must have some idea of what's going on behind the scenes. Help us understand how potent and how expansive are these groups right now?
Well, let me just say this. If I was still in the movement, or if the same times was happening, and I had a guy like who's in the presidency right now who kind of nudges us a little bit, I would be ecstatic to be a part of them groups now. And that's scary and sad. They're taking more funding away from groups that are looking at right-wing extremists, because President Trump said he only wants money going towards anti-Islamic extremists, and that's a New York Times piece was just written about that. They've taken money from groups because they don't want us looking at right-wing extremists.
So let me ask you this, and I'm sorry, Frank, because we're running out of time, but I have to ask you based on something you just said. Do white supremacists see President Trump as one of them?
Yes. And look, and I've been having this argument all week now. People keep saying, well, if a bunch of pedophiles find, is he a pedophile? If he says pedophile things, then yes, I would say that. This guy is followed by right-wing extremists because he says things that they believe. It isn't they just happen to jump on board with the guy. He's saying things that they feel inside. He validates them, and that's scary.
Frank Mink, always appreciate you being so candid about what you've been through and what we need to do from this point forward. Thank you so much for taking time for us.
Thank you guys. Bye. Thank you.